We have a great show lined up for you today on Retiring Well. Going to be talking about how to recover from financial hardship in retirement. Along with that, some tips if you plan on working in retirement, 7 big retirement risks to avoid, along with how to enhance your retirement lifestyle. So all this and much more coming up right now on Retiring Well.
Retiring Well, brought to you by Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial advisors specializing in retirement planning and serving all of Northern Michigan. Retiring Well, helping you plan for a successful and comfortable retirement. Retiring Well, plan to retire well.
Let's talk about the unfortunate thing here of how to recover from a financial hardship in retirement. You know, unfortunately, not everything is all roses, right? There's sometimes we stumble across challenges in life that financially can put a strain on things, right? In retirement, maybe what could some of those things be? Well, maybe it's divorce, serious illness, maybe it's a poor investment performance, or maybe it's maybe you have a business or family business that's having hard times. You know, whatever it is, a financial drain on you there that's unexpected, right? A hardship. So what are some things that you can do? Well, one, remedy the situation. You know, first, oftentimes we see folks that they come across these things and they kind of get what I call analysis paralysis, where they want to kind of look at things and they're almost afraid to do something. Well, we need to identify the issue and go into action to have a plan for this. You know, how is this? What is the long-term nature of this? What is going to be the cost overall to do this? You know, and depending upon what ages you are, what accessibility of funds, how can we recover from this? So every one of these is probably going to be different for every single person, right? Not one situations are usually ever alike. So everything is going to have to be important. But again, number one thing is make sure you take action. Jump into it and don't just sit there and let it dwell on, because usually what happens is those kind of start to compound, right? And then almost, you know, that snowball effect starts happening and we have other issues. So if you have to seek financial help, so let's say maybe a gift or something from a family member. Remember, here in 2023, you're allowed to receive up to $17,000 as a gift that would be tax-free and not account against your gift tax exemption. So that's something to consider if you have a family member or friend that is willing to gift you some money. If you're going to have a loan from a family member or friend, make sure you properly document that loan and lay out all the conditions of that so it meets the qualifications of a loan. And so there's interest and stuff like that that's reportable. And so again, having that plan in there. And I can't stress in these situations, you know, and this is something you would have to do ahead of the financial hardship, the importance of having a savings and emergency accounts. Oftentimes we see people do a great job of saving in that 401k and that IRA and that pre-tax money, but they don't really have that general savings or emergency account that they can easily tap into, and it offers more tax flexibility and accessibility no matter what age you are. Remember, 401ks and IRAs have different age restrictions where you get an early distribution penalty. So if this hardship was to happen prior to those age restrictions, you might have to pay a penalty if you're tapping into that 401k, unless maybe you're doing a loan or something like that. So again, make sure we have some preparations in place. Hopefully these financial hardships never do happen, but if they do, put yourself in a strong position to be able to absorb those and work through those. Savings is a great way to do that. Again, if you find yourself in this hardship, give us a call. You know, we help people through these all the time, and we're happy to sit down with a no cost, no obligation visit to help you through that situation.
You know, there's a serious part of what happens when you face those financial hardships. And as I was looking at that, I thought, you know, where in my experience so far doing this job have I seen, you know, these financial hardships really show up? And a lot of times it's centered around death or divorce. You know, so to share a story without getting into detail, you know, I had a client that sat down, and from the very beginning, it got off to a very emotional start. A lot of silence, a lot of tears, and as the words came out, you know, it was so raw still that they were, you know, had just gone through a divorce, and they were trying to reframe a lot of their life. And so what I appreciated about that, though, is that they did something very important. They asked for help. And what we did is we just sat down and we said, okay, your finances have changed, not just in a little way, in a big way. And so what we decided to do is, okay, let's come up with a budget. Let's do percentage living. I know this is all brand new to you because the ex-spouse did all of the finances. And I said, that's fine. We can teach you, we can show you, we can give you some tools. You know, if you're watching the show, you like to learn. Okay, then you can think. And if you're a good thinker, then we can help give you some things to think about. And you can start reshaping what your new normal looks like. I know, Nick, you have an example of death and how we helped.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar in that regard, except unfortunately we had a couple where the one spouse lost the other spouse, and it was the same thing. I mean, we sat down, it was very emotional, but it all boiled down in her case was developing that budget. Like Jack was saying, this is another situation where she didn't really have anything to do with the finances, so it really helped when we sat down and we went through all the different income and expenses, and we were able to map that out through our retirement analyzer software program. So she could visually see, okay, this is my income, these are my expenses, this is what I need to do to make retirement work without my spouse. Obviously very, very tough and challenging conversations, but that's part of our job. That's what we're here to help, and we're here to help you retire well, and that just goes along with that.
So if you're sitting there and you're dealing with one of these situations in your own life, please feel free to give us a call. We care about teaching you what you might be able to do. And stay tuned. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about tips that you're going to want to know if you plan to work in retirement, and 7 big retirement risks that you need to avoid. Stay tuned.
If you like watching Retiring Well, make sure to go to youtube.com/retiringwell and click the subscribe button to never miss any of our TV shows and other informative videos.
The stock market has a natural life cycle that is destined to encounter peaks and valleys. Those scenarios are frequently preceded by events such as changes in interest rates, new international trade negotiations, treaties, and tariffs, fluctuating levels in the national debt, global events that threaten the economic stability, political controversies that impact national policies, dramatic news headlines that shape investor sentiment. While each of these issues, and certainly all of them combined, generate cause for concern, it's important to remember that we have been in similar circumstances before. One way to help gauge market-related anxiety is to consider observations made by renowned investment experts who have weathered many markets' ups and downs over the years. Contact us today for a complimentary portfolio risk assessment. We'd love the opportunity to help you plan to retire well. I'd like to share with you maybe some helpful tips if you plan on working in retirement. So whether that's intentional or not, you may find yourself working in retirement. So I want to just walk you through some different ideas that you may want to consider. So one might be delay your 401k or IRA withdrawals. So if you can postpone that, maybe give it a little bit longer time to grow, maybe to your benefit. Now if you are still working at age 72, you also may have the ability to delay your required minimum distribution, but ultimately that's going to depend on what account that it's in. You have catch-up contributions that occur after age 50. So 401k plans, IRAs are going to allow you to contribute greater amounts into those retirement plans to ultimately try and build those up leading to your retirement. You want to be careful about Social Security. So if you're not yet at full retirement age, which is going to vary depending on what year you were born, then you have different income limitations before then you start to be penalized. So taxation on Social Security is another area that's going to be based on your adjusted gross income along with Social Security. So you want to be factoring this into your overall plan. You may be able to boost your Social Security earnings by working a bit longer. So Social Security is going to be based on the highest 35 earning years, and that's adjusted for inflation and everything. So perhaps here in these later years, you're getting earning a higher income than you were maybe at the start of your working career. And so ultimately, by having those higher earnings, that's going to increase those overall benefits. Maybe consider delaying your Social Security benefits. So between your full retirement age and 70, it increases by approximately 8% a year, which ultimately is a really nice bump up in income if you can continue to delay. You want to sign up for Medicare at age 65. There's ultimately a 7-month initial enrollment period that starts 3 months prior to age 65, so that's going to be a key thing to keep in mind. Be careful of the high income years that you may have and what impact that could have on Medicare. So if you have a year perhaps where there's larger capital gains, for maybe it's the sale of a rental property or investment property or different stocks that you've held a long time, and you realize capital gains, that might bump you into an area where then there's going to be some different potential surcharges. So be careful of that, and maybe you really enjoy what your current job or career, but you want to ease into retirement. I know a number of employers out there are open to that idea of, okay, maybe starting to work part-time leading up to your retirement. So there's a lot of different benefits of working in retirement, but also a few pitfalls. So if you have questions about that, you're welcome to give us a call here at Centennial Wealth Advisory.
In today's day and age, with a longer lifespan, you're more likely to encounter both good and bad market performance. For that reason, when planning for retirement, it's increasingly important to seek guidance from a financial advisor who can help you structure an income strategy that reflects your financial situation, risk tolerance, and investment objectives. You don't want just any advice, but objective financial advice. With so much at stake, it's important that you feel you can trust a financial advisor to consider a wide variety of possible solutions, including both investment and insurance products. Here at Centennial Wealth Advisory, we're not beholden to any certain investment tools or vehicles. We're independent. We can offer a wide variety of investment tools that meet your needs. So please, if you have any questions or you want to schedule an initial consultation, don't hesitate to give us a call at the number on the screen. We're happy to help in any way that we can.
Living life isn't always easy. It puts up challenges and obstacles you'll have to overcome. There are responsibilities. You put in effort to provide and take care of your family, and to save and invest, to balance work and life. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
Hi there, my name is Nick Greenman, Financial Advisor with Centennial Wealth Advisory. I just want to take a moment to welcome you to the Gaylord office location. My wife and I are proud to call Gaylord home and just would love to see you here in Gaylord. If you have any questions on your retirement plan, your portfolio, whether it's investment planning, income planning, tax planning, health insurance planning, please don't hesitate to reach out to the number on the screen. We'd be happy to schedule a free, no obligation consultation to look at all those areas in your retirement plan. We look forward to helping you plan to retire well.
Hey, welcome to this segment on risk. I've been accused in my snow skiing and water skiing days of taking unneeded risk. I always said and pushed back, I took calculated risk. So this segment is going to be revolving around calculated risk that each and every one of us face. The first one is longevity risk. What happens in retirement when you live a really long time? According to the Society of Actuaries, if a couple reaches 65, they have a 50% chance that one of them is going to live until they're 93 years old. Does your income plan reflect that many years in life and what your money is going to do and how it's going to behave? The next risk we need to look at is inflation risk. Everyone is feeling that right now. And how does that impact your retirement? Well, if you go all the way back to 1914, the average inflation is 3.24%. So does your income plan reflect and keep up with inflation? What kind of COLAs do you have in your income, whether it's Social Security or pension? Okay, you have to be able to pretend like you're going to be spending more money because costs are going to be going up. The next thing we're going to look at is tax risk. Okay, what happens if the rates change? Right now, the current tax laws are set to change in 2026. And I would challenge you to look at your tax buckets. Look at how much you have in tax-deferred money, 401k, 403b, 457, any kind of traditional IRA money. And then look at how much you have in your Roth IRA, or maybe there's a life insurance policy that has some cash value. And then look at how much you have in your bank accounts. And just see how tax diversified you are. See how much of an impact a tax change in the laws would affect your situation. What about healthcare costs? You know, we look at opportunities to help pay and offset those healthcare situations. Hey, maybe your current employer has a health savings account as an option. Currently, for 2023, you're, as a single person, able to defer $3,650. And if you're age 55 or above, you get to add another $1,000 to that. And if you're married, you get to double the $3,650 amount. And so those are ways to put in money tax-free, and then as long as you use them for healthcare related items, it's tax-free on the way out. What about long-term care costs? Okay, right now it's anywhere between $4,000 and $10,000 a month if you have to go into different levels of care. What is your plan doing right now to reflect that risk? What about lifetime income? You know, you can't have retirement without income. So what are your sources of your retirement income? How contractual are they? How market-based are they? And finally, the stock market risk. You know, how exposed to the ups and downs and the volatility of the market are you? So if you ever have any questions, please feel free to give us a call, and we'd love to walk through those risks and help make them more calculated for you. Hey, I think some of my most content, happiest retirees have a part-time job in their retirement. So if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm going to retire, but I'm only going to semi-retire, you know, I've seen that be a successful recipe for a lot of our retirees that we help. You know, one thing that you might want to look at as you prepare for that is what kind of tax impact is that additional income going to be, and what kind of impact might it have on the healthcare plans that you might be a part of. So look at those two things. But I ran across this the other day and I thought it was kind of cool. You know, they said, what is a business? Because some of our retirees, they have a lot of time and they're like, it's time to start my business that I've always wanted to do. And the answer was, what a business is you just make something up and then you make it real. And I thought that was so cool. Like, you get to think about something that solves a problem, and then you get to actually put it into place. How cool is that if you used your retirement additional time to let your imagination thrive and then actually put it into use to help other people? Nick, I know you have some risks that we want to avoid in retirement.
Yeah, you did a great job there, Jack, covering all those different risks. And one that I want to focus on is that healthcare cost risk that Jack was mentioning in that segment. And you know, there are ways to plan for that. One of the big ones that I encourage a lot of my clients to do is, if available, is to contribute to an HSA account or health savings account. So when a lot of retirees, they're retiring before the age of 65, okay, before Medicare age, meaning that they lose their employer coverage and they need to find health insurance somewhere. Typically, the best spot to do that is on Marketplace Insurance or healthcare.gov. Unfortunately, the premiums might be low, but the deductibles and the out-of-pockets are extremely high, okay? And so one of the risks that you run is, as you retire and you get older in age, the likelihood of you needing to have a serious health issue covered by insurance increases, right? So if you've been contributing to an HSA or had a qualified HSA eligible plan and done those contributions, you're planning for those health insurance risks that might come along the way in retirement. So I encourage you, if you're employed and you're working, or if you're employed and you have a health insurance plan and maybe you have an option for that qualified HSA eligible plan, I'd encourage you to look into that so that you can maybe contribute to an HSA and grow that tax-free account for when you retire. All right, stay tuned. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about how to enhance your retirement lifestyle.
You can have a portfolio or you can have a plan. You can play it safely or you can safely plan. You can guess when to take Social Security or you can make your decision based on detailed analysis. You can hope your savings will last your entire retirement, or you can take action and know. You can let life happen to you, or you can take control. You can go it alone, or you can have an experienced guide ready to walk with you every step of the way. We are Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial planners serving all of northern Michigan, offices in Gaylord, Petoskey, Traverse City, and Cadillac. Simply call the number on your screen for a complimentary initial consultation and let us help you plan to retire well.
Your grandchildren are precious to you. They are your life. This is your time to have that special relationship. Taking care of yourself is taking care of them. Centennial Wealth Advisory is offering a free, no-obligation retirement review to make sure you don't run out of money during your retirement. Centennial Wealth Advisory. Your best is yet to come.
Hi, my name is Jack Klunder and I am a financial advisor with Centennial Wealth Advisory. I work out of our Cadillac office and we specialize in retirement planning. We take a very holistic approach. We start with investments and see how you're situated there. We do wealth management. We do income planning. We do tax planning, any kind of healthcare issues or needs that you might have for insurance. And then we talk about what your legacy plan might be. So if you are nearing or in retirement and you have questions that you want to go over, please give the number on the screen a call and we can have and set up a free, no obligation consultation.
Let's talk about some ways to enhance your retirement lifestyle. Physical and mental health are key to a long and enjoyable retirement. So let's take a moment now and picture your dreams for retirement. Maybe it's been a little while since you've had dreams, but let's walk through that and see, what does that future hold for you and what do you want to see happen? One of the key areas for your mental health might be keeping that mind sharp. That might include, as an idea, writing letters to some of your loved ones, children, grandchildren, friends that you've had over the years, and just share some great memories that you've enjoyed and your love for them. What about, I've had a number of clients that have enrolled in a local college class. There might be an interest that you have and you're wanting to learn more. A lot of the different community colleges will offer no or low cost types of opportunities for those of you that are in retirement, that you could continue your learning process. Maybe it's playing Sudoku or completing those crossword puzzles to keep the mind sharp. And did you know that diet, exercise, and sleep have been shown to prevent Alzheimer's disease? I mean, that's, I know, a great concern for a number of you of what's going to happen if the body's still in good shape but the mind goes. So diet, exercise, and sleep are key. Along with that, it's shown that staying social can prevent illnesses. So you want to stay out there, stay communicating with friends and family. And then lastly, getting into making smart financial decisions. So with bigger expenses such as travel or vehicle purchases, make sure you're paying attention to taxes. This is the number one area that we see a lot of times, that people are wanting to make those bigger purchases, but they don't factor in what tax implications there's going to be. And ideally, you're making some of these bigger purchases before you get to retirement. So the most successful clients that I've seen have planned ahead. They've tried to incorporate these bigger expenses into their budget while they're still working and maybe have a little bit higher income than what they anticipate in retirement. And so if you have those purchases that you're looking to make, whether it's the vehicle or the boat that you plan on using for fishing in retirement, try to map that out well in advance so that you're hopefully making that happen before you get to retirement. And lastly, please set up an estate plan. This can make things so much easier for your loved ones and passing on those assets in a smooth and seamless process. So if you're in need of help when it comes to your income plan or tax plan or partnering with different estate planning attorneys, we encourage you to give us a call, as it's our mission here at Centennial Wealth Advisory to help you plan to retire well.
Hey, I recently heard a quote, and it said, "He or she who has their health has 1,000 dreams. He or she who does not have their health has one dream." And as you get into retirement and you start thinking about what your new life looks like in retirement, I think it's important just to be reminded of, the blessings that you have if you have your health. And one way to enhance that lifestyle in retirement, in my opinion, is to explore and to learn. Figure out a new place, a new area, a new learning opportunity. Keep your brain sharp. Keep your brain motivated, and then treat your body like you would if all of a sudden, okay, let's say you had $1 million racehorse, okay? You're not going to be feeding them junk and letting them stay up late and doing all of this stuff. No, you're going to treat them very well in their health and what they eat and what they consume and what they do and how they exercise. And so, if you're in that situation where you have your health and you have your retirement, then put that mind to work, put that body to work, doing things that are going to give back, not only to yourself, but to the people around you. Nick, I know you have some stories.
Yeah, I've got a perfect client that really embodies what you're talking about there, Jack. He's also out of the Indian River area and comes down to Gaylord to meet with us, but he's a hockey player. Now he's 60 years old and he still gets out on the ice twice a week. And it amazes me that he's doing that. And he's in such great shape that he's in an over 50 league, and they do a national championship actually down in Florida. So I always enjoy meeting with this client and hearing about how he's really enjoying his retirement on the ice rink, getting out there, staying in shape, and just maximizing life in retirement.
So we appreciate that you take time out of your day to watch our show. We love that you are learners, and we really want to be able to add value to your life by learning something here at Centennial Wealth Advisory and then giving it away for free. So if you're sitting there and anything that we've come across on our shows hit you and you think, well, I wonder, instead of having a monologue, I wonder what a dialogue would be like. Schedule an appointment with us. Let us, go back and forth and really try to find how we might be able to help you. So tune in next week, same time, same channel. Have a great week.